Yeah, so it's all good. Anyway, what's up, Shaun?
Hello.
Nice to talk to you. Welcome back to the province after nationals.
Thank you. I was away in another country for a week, which was
All right. Well, so the idea of what we're doing right now is really just a chance for us to talk about kind of like Ontario centric, like our ballpark of stuff. Like we're pros in our own like little
yeah,
worlds or anything, but it's just nice to chat. And so
yeah.
let's talk about some stuff.
Some rock.
So first one is is Youth Nationals.
Yeah.
I watched the live stream while it was up. I had a lot of fun watching it. I still have kids in the scene like
Mhm.
you do. So for the most part, I'm watching for them. Otherwise, I don't think I would watch a youth like U.S. Nationals. I can't get into it. It's like there's too much going on.
Yeah.
I don't know the people. The level of climbing is rarely at the same height that gets you hyped. But the biggest thing that came away from it, like especially from the climbers and the route setters, was
Mhm.
like everybody is tired after the end of this thing. Like, tell me how your experience as a
There
setter was.
was talking about being tired. There was a lot of skin left on the wall. There was one problem we had to clean. There was blood on every single hole.
Wow, man.
So athlete skin did not hold up. But yeah, I think athletes were tired. They had a lot of the categories had a really hard qualifiers
Yeah.
and harder semis.
Tell me about it.
Um, yeah, it was some
People
categories.
people got into finals with zero tops.
Yes,
That was sick.
but like two bonuses, maybe two or three
Yeah,
bonuses got you
yeah,
in the finals in some
yeah,
of the
man.
categories. Definitely some of the yeah, definitely some people snuck in the finals that
Hmm.
might not have snuck in if the problems
Yeah,
weren't as hard.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Hmm.
So yeah, it was hard. It was hard on the setting crew as well. There were
Yeah,
some long nights. I haven't done a long night in a couple of years,
yeah,
so it's interesting. I'm glad my body could still like hold up
yeah.
and do those. I think like if you
uh,
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, I think if you combine all my sleeping hours, I think I had like 7
okay.
altogether.
What made this one? These comps are always a
Hmm.
huge pain in the ass, and they're tiring
Yeah,
for the. Well, I shouldn't say pain. Like it's the price of doing
yeah.
business. That's what we do. Um, did something make this event particularly more difficult?
Hmm.
Why was it such a why? Like people were mentioning as route setters, like man, this one took a lot out of me. So what
Yeah.
was that?
I think it was the crew just coming together.
Okay,
Some of us have worked with others before, but it took a little while for all of us to like get together and
okay,
get on the same page. And then I think it was kind of overestimating the abilities of the climbers. One style I found difficult was just the amount of smearing on volumes.
okay,
Um, and they're really good, especially the two guys from Block Shop who are on the crew.
yeah.
They're really good. No, it's like
That's smearing on
yeah,
volumes.
no,
You're
but you
comfortable
think
with
like
that?
anyone could smear on a volume and like
Yeah.
walk across it, but it's like they're exceptionally good. There
Okay.
was 6 of us on the crew. There was me. There was Nathan Smith from Block Shop.
Hmm.
There was Fred from Block Shop. He was head setter.
Okay.
There was Loic from Delir. He was the
Right.
assistant head setter. And then there was JP and Antoine who were also set at Delir.
Cool.
I think
Good on
this,
Loic for like head setting. Like
yeah,
I think he's only like early 20s, right? I
for
seem
his
to remember.
assistant, yeah,
Yeah, I seem to
yeah.
remember him as a youth climber like yesterday.
I think he's only 21 or
Yeah, he's a
22.
kid, right? Okay,
So yeah, it was
cool.
a big opportunity for him.
That's awesome.
But yeah, on the like second or third day, I think we all realized how good Nathan and Fred were at smearing on volumes.
And the kids weren't as
And
good.
then when time of the comp, it's like, wow, they're not
Okay.
this like V4 this slab problem. They're not getting up.
Yeah.
And so Fred made like wise decision to kind of tone
Cool.
down a lot of that,
Yeah.
adding some feet on some stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like and it's a I think Fred asked me if we have that in Ontario. I'm like, no. Like the only gym that might have that in Ontario is maybe Boulders, but like you go to a gym, there's not a lot of smearing on volumes.
Yeah, I would say like Hub is the closest to having those angles,
Yeah,
but they don't have that many volumes, and a lot of the
yeah,
volumes they do have are fairly like positive
yeah.
volumes for the most part. So yeah, I think you're like, yeah, that's a really good observation. I don't know, and Block Shop doesn't even have a youth team, so
No,
like you can't even like they put those problems up, and they don't even have kids from their own gym that can like get on them. That's too
yeah.
bad.
So I think
That's
it was a
funny.
little bit like overestimated how good some of the athletes were. Not saying they're not. I'm not saying they were bad
No,
athletes or anything like that.
yeah.
But yeah, some of the problems were a bit hard.
Yeah. From
Yeah,
a viewer perspective too, the stream was like there were times where the commentators like clearly had to fill a lot because like
yeah,
something was taking way longer. You mentioned like blood issues as
yeah.
well. things were running super long. Like what was holding everything up
I
today?
think it was the format. It was 4 minutes flat,
Yeah,
and it was parade for finals, which means all of the athletes come out, boys and girls. They try
yeah,
problem one after
yeah.
another, and then once they're all done, they go to problem two, and so on and so on. At this comp, the coaches had the opportunity to appeal right after the climber was done on whatever finals problems, or one or two or whatever, and they didn't charge a fee to appeal. So
Okay.
there was a lot of
All
appealing,
right.
and then a lot of video reviewing,
Yeah.
which kind of held some stuff kind of dragged out the
Yeah,
round a little bit,
definitely.
and then the round just went long.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew how long it would take,
Hmm.
and then it kind of, I think the first bunch of kids were supposed to be done at noon, and then
Yeah.
they finished around like 1:30,
Wow.
and then the comp was supposed to be done at 6, like podiums at 6, and then it was podiums at 9 p.m. And I know a lot of BC and Alberta athletes and parents like booked flights
Yeah,
like
man.
right after the comp, and I don't know if they all
Well,
made it, but
Madison Fisher made a post where she was like, 30 seconds after I got off the final problem, I was in a car to the airport.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it was a long day. It was a
there
little unexpected.
I don't think there was that many podiums where everyone was there
Yeah,
to
that's too
stand
bad,
on it.
man.
Yeah,
Especially the younger categories. Like, I think the older kids like kind of get it. For the younger ones, you're like
yeah.
just like standing there alone
Even
in
like
third place.
girls youth B, Indiana. I was with her and her parents, and they're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, no one else is gonna be here for the podium for your
yeah,
category. Let's leave." And she's like, "No, I don't want." So she stayed. She
yeah,
was the only one standing on
yeah,
that
man.
podium. So
Yeah. Well, that's rough. Did you guys try and change anything to like pick up the pace, like as route setters or as
there
organizers?
was during the comp, it had all the delays. There was nothing. The comp was never delayed by route setting.
Okay.
It was all just appeals and the rounds taking too long. And then there was also like a 1 hour. They pushed it back by 1 hour as well for some reason.
Okay.
It came from the JP and the TD.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't really know why they pushed it back by an hour, but
Okay.
it had
Who
nothing to
was
do with
that?
route setting.
I saw Sean McCall there, and I saw like kids would come out with him, and they were clearly psyched. Like it was really cool that he was there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Was he just a volunteer helping out? Was he part of the delegation?
Sean was the technical delegate
Oh, awesome.
for the comp.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
And it was awesome. I found it really awesome to have him there because just his when someone's talking and they know their shit.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's Sean.
Yeah.
Every rule, like almost everything he says about climbing, it's like, yeah, this like
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
out.
yeah.
So it was amazing to have him there as the TD for the comp.
Yeah.
Like he brought out a lot of knowledge and experience to the event.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's an awesome role for him to play. I guess he's like out this end. He's still hanging around before nationals or something.
Yeah.
Psyched, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm excited for nationals, especially after last nationals where it was so close. Like we were down to like Lil J's final burn and stuff. Like I'm really excited to see what's gonna go on this year. But anyway, back to youth nationals. Something that I saw lots of pictures of, but then they weren't in finals. Were the Delir cylinder volumes, which are like brand new for this event. And we'll talk about those. But my first question was, like, it was a Delir gym, so everything was on brand. It was their own volumes in their gym. Why weren't they in finals? Like, did they arrive late?
Yes.
Okay.
So
There's the answer.
there was a ton of kilter holds
Yeah.
and a ton of Delir volumes
Yeah.
of cylinders. They arrived. We started setting on Tuesday. We set finals.
Okay.
I think they arrived on the Wednesday or Thursday.
That sucks, man.
And they were ginormous cylinders. I think they were all in semis. I think a lot of them.
I saw a lot of them qualifiers day too. I think. If I
so
remember
quals
right,
and semis, and it was just like they're very big.
Yeah, they look sick. Like they were the first thing I noticed in the pictures because we didn't get to see video from those days. So you're really just checking out like what the problems are. And like those things are striking. Like the shapes are awesome. I'm assuming they were fiberglass because that's what Delir does.
The sides are fiberglass, and I guess the base or the front where it's bolted, where the T-nuts are, is wood.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So they have a lot of volumes there where it's like it's fiberglass and wood,
so
it's easier to put screw-ons into it.
Oh, that's sick, man. I really like that. So no T-nuts around like the actual side of the volumes.
No.
How did you feel like setting with those? Like, so we at the old stomping ground, we bought a bunch of big Delir stuff.
Yeah.
And for us, it was awesome for what it is. They're heavy though. Like putting those things on the wall is a bitch.
Yeah.
How was the experience with those ones?
It was interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if any of the setters really liked those big cylinders.
Really?
Like they were interesting, but it was just hard to. They were too big and they're pretty juggy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Juggy on the corner
like
though,
on the
right?
corners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I don't like. It was interesting using them. I think every time we used them, we didn't put holds on them, especially the big
That
ones.
sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all just kind of like wrapping and working your
Yeah.
way around it. Like it really, I like those volumes because it was kind of the problems that were those volumes were featured in, and they became like very cryptic.
Yeah.
And I felt like there wasn't a lot of like really cryptic problems in the comp, so I really like those ones with the cylinders. But there was a semis problem with some cylinders, and I think it had two tops,
Okay.
and only a couple bonuses, and it was just like way too
Yeah.
mysterious of a realization. Like I think it was too much for 4 minutes, but
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the too much for 4 minutes thing. That's like a really kind of cool realization that I
Yeah.
think setters and spectators and climbers are having. Like the last slew of competitions we've had where it's
Yeah.
been the hard 4 minutes. We're like, oh, this the
It's
same setting we've been doing is not like quite working for
Yeah,
this
I did
format, man.
at the Boiler Room comp. The
I
finals was
wasn't there,
4 minutes,
yeah.
and it was my first time doing 4 minutes, and it's
Yeah.
a lot
Setting or
less
climbing?
time. Climbing,
Okay,
competing.
cool.
It was a lot less time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blockbuster one, I mean, like, it's not like a lot of the problems are super
Yeah.
long, but a
That was
few
four
of
minutes
them are.
plus.
It was switched to 4 minutes plus at the last minute, and I
Oh,
think that was because the route setters are like, maybe if they started forwarding them, they're like, you can't possibly do more
yeah.
than 2 burns on
Yeah.
this in only 4 minutes. So I think it was a good call. I wish they told me before I started the broadcast because I like did the whole explanation of like hard
Yeah.
4 minutes, and then it hit the 4 minute mark, and the kids just got back like on
You're
the
like,
wall.
what's
It's like,
going
what's
on?
But yeah, so I think they made a good choice to change it. But yeah, like U.S. Bouldering Open Nationals,
Yeah.
same kind of thing. It was like, damn, man, like women's number 4 maybe. It was the one through the steep with a
With
ton
the
of volumes
giant
and
black.
stuff. Yeah, probably they all have like
Yeah.
lots of stuff. But you're like, you do one attempt on that. It's like you can't like
Yeah.
do another burn on that thing.
Yeah.
Like Margot's burn on it, she was on for like 2.5 minutes.
Oh, that problem. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
got $1:30 left. You know, like,
Yeah.
you're just gonna die.
It's
So
like, yeah,
it's
4 minutes is not a lot of
no,
time.
no, it's friggin' rough.
You're still gonna take the same amount of time to preview the problem too. Like
Yeah.
just because you previewed it earlier, like
Yeah.
doesn't mean when every athlete when they go back out, they'll take like 30
Yeah.
seconds to a minute. So it's really 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, for real.
Like, yeah.
Aside from that, I had heard in passing something about a canceled problem in
Yeah.
nationals, and I think that's kind of the last question I have. Like, so there was a round where, like, what was the deal? The problem
It
was canceled.
was so I think it was problem 4. I think it was in semis.
Okay.
For C category.
All right.
So it started. There was a big giant triangular volume that you would smear on
Okay.
to start. Bigfoot. That was taped 2 points.
Okay.
And then there was a second big giant triangle volume. And you had an undercling, a screw-on undercling, a pretty decent one, and that was taped 2 points.
The screw-on or the volume?
The screw-on.
Okay.
And so the reason why the screw-on was taped at 2 points was because I think there was 1 or 2 other holes on that volume. And so for the girls, like they had a juggy undercling, they really got in there and started it. For the boys, it was a very shallow screw-on, almost like a little plate, and they had to jump into it.
Okay.
And so I believe the judges asked the chief, who was Fred, what happens if they start and their thumbs touch the feature? And I think Fred said, I know it's not really supposed to happen, but it's going to screw up everyone, so allow that for this comp.
Okay.
And then I think there was some miscommunication, and then Shaun, the TD, was busy. He came over, some more miscommunication. And then I think after the first 2 athletes, they kind of told everyone, you can't touch the volume to start the problem.
Okay.
Because the screw-on was taped for 2 points. So if you can imagine telling a 11 to 13-year-old boy who's in semis, who has a lot of pressure on them, maybe feeling a little bit of nerves, that they can't touch this volume, which might be really hard not to touch.
Yeah, man.
First of all, you can't touch it with your thumb. So there was boys who were like going into it.
Yeah, just like
that.
But
then, what if you touch the volume sliding into the undercling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they put 2 judges, like Sean McCall was there the whole time watching every single attempt.
Damn.
And so you'd have another judge calling them off for
So
some.
are you saying that you got all the kids climbed it and then you made the results for that climb invalid
All of the
because
kids,
of this?
I think they were halfway through. The coaches were furious
Yeah.
because obviously you're dabbing on a
Yeah,
volume,
totally.
and there's no way to judge it fairly.
Okay.
Because you can't you're gonna make mistakes. There's no way to judge that fairly for everyone who climbed.
Yeah.
So I think the coaches made an appeal because they're allowed to appeal.
The one thing that unified all the coaches.
Yeah, the one thing. So they made an appeal, and then they decided to cancel the problem, but they decided not to tell the athletes until all of the athletes had suffered through that start of that problem. But I saw a lot of boys crying,
oh, really?
and just like the judge calling them off. And this, I find it really funny, even though he was in tears. Sorry, but he was like trying to start it. The judge would call him off, and at one point he's like, "What do you want me to do?
Totally.
What? I don't understand." And he was just
so rough, man.
freaking out. Yeah, it was rough for a little.
Was it Shaun that had to call them off? Because that would be a terrible way to meet your heroes.
Shaun would call off, I think, if their hands were touching the volume, and there's another judge who'd call off if the thumbs were like touching.
You got an independent thumb judge.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 of them, like just Hawkeyes on this problem.
Damn, man.
Like, yeah, it was. I felt that's the first time I've been part of a comp where a problem has been canceled.
Yeah,
which sucked.
Yeah,
but I think at the end of the round we still got like a good result off the other 3 problems, so it didn't change things that much. I think they kind of looked at the results as well at the 4 problems compared to the 3 problems. I think the top 6 were the same in each one. Just they were kind of split a little differently. Yeah. But yeah, it was very interesting.
That'd be maybe not. Like, I'm not an expert in the rules, but I'd be curious if that did change things. Like what process judges could appeal, kind of thing. Because that sucks, man.
I think in the future, and it was hard because when we were setting that problem, we didn't want to tape the volume because there's other holds on the volume.
Yeah.
But I think there were some arguments back and forth between some of the setters and the judges, and apparently, like in World Cups, they haven't like taped a hold on the volume like that since 2015.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
because especially I think you do have to, and not that I've set any international comps, but if you like scale it down to really little kids, it's a super shitty thing to make the start the most difficult part and make it hard just from like a rules perspective. Yeah, like that's not the point of the comp, right? I can't think of a starting move that I think is more important than the problem itself. That's too bad. And I'm not like blaming I guess I am kind of blaming. I don't want to make it sound like I'm blaming the setters or anything like that. It's just like it's too bad all around. Yeah, kids just got to practice their like open, that under.
It was an interesting comp. The chief wanted to make it really easy for the judges to judge all the problems. Yeah. So a lot of the times we had to compromise some of the quality of some of the problems. He didn't want us to have any features touching.
Yeah, totally.
And then also capped holds. The cap couldn't touch the other hold if it was taped like a bonus or a start or something like that. So
using a hold to cap. So I thought you were talking about like
no. Caps. Yeah, so we always have like separate them, or if it was a bonus, something try and tape the cap and the hold you grab. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of like compromises so the judges could have an easier job.
Cool. I like that this stuff is like being talked about. I think that's really cool. We didn't plan to talk about this, but we were talking about blood earlier. Yeah. I think it's really cool that with the setting rules you're just talking about, that we're taking it seriously and that Canadian setters are getting a really like, especially having Shaun there, they're getting a great perspective of what international setting, what kind of standard is held to. The blood one, though, is an interesting one because especially in Canada and localized to Quebec and localized, unfortunately, to Fred Charon over the last couple of months, he's just been like, in the middle of like, just he's in the crosshairs for blood issues. It just happened to be that way. You mentioned that some of the delays were caused by blood. Yeah. And we can talk about why blood is becoming more of an issue because of setting or whatever. But after just like, I don't know if you got a chance to talk about it with Shaun or any other of the officials there, but is there still a sense amongst the community that Canada takes blood too seriously?
Definitely. I haven't talked to Shaun or any other like setters about that, but I know definitely at Worlds when I was there in August in Innsbruck, they cared less about blood being on, like way less. About like they even there was blood on a volume, and me and one of the other assistant coaches, we told them, and they just
Hmm.
brushed it off. Like
Yeah,
they just brushed the
yeah,
blood off
totally, man.
the volume. We're like, oh, okay. And it's like, wow, we care way too much in Canada, but
I was thinking to myself, like, how much blood would I be willing to grab,
yeah,
right? So the first one is assuming I don't have an open wound,
yeah,
right? But yeah, if I had a big old flapper right here, and I was just like sinking into like a pool,
mhm,
I'd be a little uncomfortable with that.
yeah,
Not that I know anything about like disease transmission through open wounds. I'm
yeah,
assuming I don't really know. But like I'd be, if it's dry blood, it doesn't bother me. I don't know if it
yeah.
really bothered that many athletes.
I'm sure athletes wouldn't
Um,
care at
yeah,
all.
I think if it affects friction, then I'm pissed.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it
Hmm.
matters to me.
Like I
So
know there were some athletes who noticed blood on holds and still climbed.
yeah,
That wasn't
totally.
theirs. Yeah.
I think that's probably most climbers
Yeah.
because like like you really want to sit in the chair, like forced to sit back in the chair while they like brush somebody else's blood or some
Yeah.
shit, and you screw up the entire comp. Like, what do you really gain from that? Like 30 more
Yeah.
seconds or
I
whatever,
think it's just like
ruins your
at the
flow.
end of the day, it's like, do you risk it, especially with like youth athletes, like to
Yeah,
transmit something? Like,
yeah,
so
totally.
it
And
sucks, but I guess it's like
again,
a
I put
necessary
I
evil.
put the good flow of a comp ahead of the health and safety of everybody else. But I just, I think I like functionally, and both of us have to be on
Hmm.
on the organizing end of some comps, and
Yeah.
it gets frustrating. I've made some bad calls in terms of injuries and like blood
Uh-huh.
issues before as a judge, and the pressure is just like you're going to throw off the entire competition
Yeah.
with one call, and you're not sure if it's consequential, and I have to like
Hmm.
manage those values as a judge better for myself. But it is still like a whack
Yeah.
question, and
It's hard. Like I don't know how to avoid that because even like a lot of comps, the features are brand new and the holds are
yeah.
brand new. They have sponsors. You want to use them, and
Hmm.
it's like the second or third or fourth day on. It's like, how are they going to make holds with less, friction on them? So to stop
Yeah.
this from happening in comps, like I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Well, I think like, we're dealing with bigger shapes and also more dynamic moves where you're not always in
Yeah,
control of where your body's going. Like you're going to hit some stuff, you're going to make big moves and graze past like settings changing in a way that skin makes more unpredictable contact than
yeah.
it did before, I think. Like it's not, crimp to crimp where the worst thing that
No,
happens is you like
it's
graze your knuckles on the way up. Now it's that every single move and it's like entire arms and legs and knees. Like Zach Richardson, his legs are just
yeah,
they look like somebody's been like
disgusting.
punching his
It's like a
femur
Thai
every
boxer.
day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. He's brave to wear shorts
Yeah.
with those some bruisey legs, man. Yeah. Anyway, blood. The next thing was Open Bouldering Nationals, like 2 weeks after Youth Bouldering Nationals. YBN becomes OBN, and you're setting for that one too.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, kids are different than adults. Although I'm psyched to hear that a bunch of the kids are going to show up. I think I heard that Guy McNamee is coming
Oh,
to this.
really?
I think I heard that.
Oh,
That
wow.
makes me super psyched to see like first year open competitors come out.
He
I'm so amped for that.
he was like strong at Worlds.
Hmm.
And I think when we saw, because Guy, like I saw him at the training camp in the
Okay.
beginning of July,
Yeah.
and he definitely had some weaknesses in his climbing,
Okay.
like things that he was not that good at. And then at Worlds, you could tell he worked on all those
That's
things,
awesome.
and he did so much better at Worlds. And then to see him at Boulder Nationals, well, to see him at Pan Am's, which he
Hmm.
crushed, and then to see him at Youth Boulder Nationals, like him up against Zach,
Yeah.
I was like, and he's first year A.
Hmm.
I was couldn't like Zach strong, and to
Yep.
see he like hold his own.
Hmm.
I think he beat Zach in the first two rounds. I think in quals and semis.
I actually can't remember the qualifying and semi things. I didn't pay attention to
Yeah,
those. I think the only one I remember was Bronwyn through that. Again, just like paying attention to my
yeah,
like kids that I'm
yeah.
super tight with. But the finals one was a pain for me because the first problem for those boys,
Yeah,
it was a hard problem. The start was kind of weird.
yeah,
Guy cruised it.
yeah,
Like he just flashed it. He got into the mantle
yeah.
fine. Zach went up there like attempts don't matter and
Yep.
did like 9 attempts on the start.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I think Guy should just win based on this one move. Like Guy, maybe it was luck, but he was confident and got it done. And so
Mhm.
obviously I cheer for Zach because
Yeah.
he's like a local boy for me. And it all came down to that third problem where it's just like a huge friggin' span to a crap ass hold
Yeah.
around the corner, and it worked out on the second attempt, and that saved him. But that's one of the ones where you're like, man, between the two of them, I don't care who wins. Like,
Yeah, it was definitely a show.
Zach obviously got more tops than Guy,
Yeah.
but you look at the quality of one of the tops, you're like, oh, dude, like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, Guy just
But
crushed, and
yeah,
I was
yeah.
amazed.
Oh, the Tyson Martino on the first problem. You're like on a ledge, and the idea
And he's
is
sideways.
yeah, the idea is to go up and kind of like hold a bit of like a barn door kind of thing
Yeah.
and stop it with the foot, so like a ninja kick into a big volume. And Tyson like is winding up for this move. You're like, he's gonna go all the way for this thing. Takes all that momentum, and instead of going up, just goes sideways
Yeah.
and downwards. Woo! And I just started laughing out loud. And I was like, what is that? And it worked fine because the foot was bigger than
Yeah,
the
it was a
finish.
jug. Yeah,
So
for
he made
sure.
it work, and it looked sick. But like I spat a little bit.
He like mangled up his like elbow,
I
like
bet.
elbow pit.
Yeah.
Like it was like bloody and
Oh, this
bruised
is the
up.
elbow pit?
The elbow pit.
Elbow pit. Okay.
But yeah, he really committed, and it was just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I hope he knows that I laughed. I hope somewhere he hears that I was like,
We were all just shocked
that was
watching
a
that.
sick top. Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah,
oh,
I was
okay.
psyched for that, man.
Yeah, it was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, taking going back to Open Nationals,
Mhm.
I mean, you're part of the crew,
Yeah.
so everybody's working together, and nobody makes one contribution that stays
Mhm.
solid from the start to the finish. But does it change how you go into it as a route setter in terms of like your intention of your
Mhm.
setting, or like what you expect from the
Mhm.
climbers?
Definitely, like I don't have to worry about heights as much
Cool.
as Youth Bouldering
Yeah.
Nationals. But looking at Youth Boulder Nationals, like some of those rounds were probably fine for Open Boulder Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think it's hard. It's getting harder and harder to separate the strong guys and like the powerful kind of problems.
Okay.
So you have to start setting like the tricky or coordination or technical kind of problems. That's where you're really going to separate these guys on attempts. So I'm not sure what we're going to be setting at Open Boulder Nationals, but I assume it'll be something like that. I think we'll set like whoever could do like 159 on this problem will win that. Like you just can't do that anymore. Like it's a lot of feature work and stuff like that. You see a lot of stronger guys, old school strong guys who don't want to like conform to like this new style of comp setting. Like there's the strongest guy in the comp. Like if you look at the boulders comp, the CC comp, like Eves is by far Eve is by the strongest climber on this side of the country. But he doesn't like training on features, I've been told, and it kind of shows.
And his training environment too probably doesn't have a lot of that just based on where he is. So that makes sense. But I'm really excited for this. And so we talked about the kids, but also somebody like Yves Gravel is apparently coming. I know he was injured for a bit, but his intention after the Ontario National Series was that he was going to do nationals.
Cool.
And something about that, like, I don't know how to express it aside from the fact that I'm more excited about climbing because he's there.
Oh yeah.
Like something I don't know if it's because I didn't get to see a lot of him compete in his like heyday or whatever, but there's that mythology. Like how many climbers have a nickname? Like he's the chainsaw. Right? And you're like, okay, so this guy has a character around him, and he's got a particular style. And as much as he's a very like at least from what I've seen, he's like a subdued guy. He's not crazy or anything. But the legends of like, I slept in today. I wasn't going to come to this Tour de Bloc, but then I decided last minute I'd show up, and then you like win it against a strong field. Like little stories.
He takes off his sweater. And he's wearing a weight vest.
And it just makes me excited. Like I feel like we've actually got a bunch of different parties that I'm interested to see go up head to head. So I'm psyched to see the brand new 2002 kids and the 2001s and 2000s who have done it for a couple of years. They're like, okay, I'm ready to be an adult now. Like it was hard at first. And then you see Shaun, who is obviously like a defending champion, and last year just like by the skin of his teeth, a defending champion. I'm psyched. Falco Filato's been like climbing really hard somehow this year, but doing well, and I'm genuinely excited. I think for the first time, where I'm like, this men's category is gonna be dope. The women's category has always been dope,
it's stacked.
but the men's category has always been Shaun's up here. Everybody else kind of like fights from second to fifth.
I was like Shaun, then Jay, and then.
But I could rotate through a couple people like there. Like Miles Adamson had a really good year, and it just floats around. And JJ Ma last year as well. Whoever shows up.
Do you think any current youth athletes are going to make finals at Open Boulder Nationals?
Yes.
And who?
Well, because like Bronman did last year.
Okay.
So I think, well, you look at the girls like Bronwyn. So we'll start with like you look at anybody 2099. So Bronwyn, Mika,
Okay.
and then possibly like Chloe and Sophie because they've been very
Okay.
close in the past. Aggie St. Jacques will be at this one, I hope, because it's on this side of the country. I don't think she was
Hopefully
in.
Babette shows up.
Yeah,
She's
so
like,
Aggie and Babette. Babette's brand new this year. They both shown
Yeah.
like a ton of power, and I would love to see them at this. I don't know, like we don't have access to the registration list until like 3 days before or something, so we have no idea who's going to be there. But I hope they're there.
There's a lot of strong girls who are older though. Like,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the list for me is Alana, Allison, Alyssa, and is Eva Thompson's Eva Thompson. I don't think she's youth anymore. So
no, she's not.
So let's say Eva because she was in the top 6 last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, you say like, okay, cool, that's good. For the men's side, I don't know. Like for me, obviously, I'm a Zach fanboy, so I say on any given day, sure, could happen.
Yeah.
Hasn't been great the last couple of years, but if it's at a gym that's close to home and if he's having a much better season so far this year than he did last year, maybe he's got some momentum. It's hard to say. I think Zach is one of the best bets. Dylan Saffery seems to be, it's his first year of school and he's been having a lot of trouble kind of adapting to that. Otherwise for the boys, like, I mean, Aiden Doyle every once in a while has a comp where I'm like, you're basically an adult. You're like 9 feet tall.
Oh my god, some of those A boys are ginormous. They're bigger than
Yeah.
Nathan Smith. Like I was just
silly.
like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't think we can count Lucas as a youth anymore, although he basically is. I expect him in the top 6.
I don't remember the last time a youth male has been in open finals.
I don't either. Last year is the only year I remember well.
Yeah.
So it's pushing beyond that is definitely like not in my.
It might have been Nathan Smith a couple years ago. I know he made it in the Hive.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It was amazing watching at the Udo camp in January.
Yeah.
Like watching some of the top like youth climbers in the country, like climbing with Jason Hollowatch.
Yeah.
Because you're like, they're like really strong, and then you watch like Jason climb, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like beyond like his strength and just experience and know-how. It's way beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with the Plastic Weekly rankings I do, it should be clear that they're never going to be good at telling you who's the best climber in the world or in Canada right now, because our climbers don't compete head to head most of the time, right? You don't get to see Shaun versus Zach very often because they're on opposite sides of the country, although Shaun hasn't been competing much this year. So there's all these factors like Jason being one of them.
Yeah.
Take all of those adults, like Jason, Shaun, JJ. There's like, I think those are the top 3 last year, basically haven't shown up. JJ did a couple in BC. I think Jason did a Tour de Bloc in the Alberta Open National Series. Shaun hasn't shown up since the World Cup Nationals. I think of them as some of the best climbers in Canada, but they've been AWOL for like 200 days. So what's the deal? I know they have a like an unbelievable baseline. Like their basement of talent is extremely high and their ceiling is much higher. So you assume it's somewhere in this wide range. But it's just so hard to quantify for. I don't know what's going to happen. Like after last year, and I like using Shaun as a story because he's the best story we have.
Yeah.
He's been on top for so long. Last year, again, by the skin of his teeth, like by an attempt.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later at Tour de Bloc Championships comes second.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, that would be a really interesting arc if that's telling you, say he's on a decline, whether it's because he's training on a 4-year circuit for Olympics or whatever, or maybe he's going to like come back and be unbelievably dominant again. I have no idea.
Do you think Shaun's going to win?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So for Monday, I'm going to release a video where I kind of like go over like my best guesses and predictions. Yeah. But I genuinely don't know. Like it will be a crapshoot when you talk about we don't even know if some of these guys will show up. I'm assuming Shaun will and Hollowatch will. I don't know if JJ Ma is going to show up. Like I got no idea, man. Yeah. But if you take those as like some of the top 3 contenders, assuming they show up, it's like I got no idea. Yeah. As a spectator of this sport, I can't make a good guess because they've been gone. That's something personally I want to watch a sport where I can see these guys go head to head all the time. I want those stories to build constantly. I don't want it to be a mystery. I want to I want to see lots of successes and lots of failures. I want to see this stuff build, and like for it to only be like once a year that I get to see the best climbers in Canada climb. Why would I watch this sport? Like you're basically saying, the best way to watch this is 51 weeks of the year, just watch the subpar climbers. And then every once in a while you get to see the good shit. And it's like, well, I don't know if I can stay psyched all year long
It'd
for
be
that.
awesome if there was an event that toured around that
Totally,
all
man.
the climbers went
A
to.
tour of
A
blocks.
tour of
That would
blocks
be really
that
cool.
everyone went to.
Yeah. No, I just like and this is definitely a topic for another episode of
Uh-huh.
if this is a thing. That's the title now.
This is a thing.
This
We
is,
don't know what we're calling this. We just
um, but I think there's a really good like question to say, do we want climbing to be a sport where we operate on a 4-year schedule and we aim for absolute excellence at one
mhm.
particular time every 4 years, and a ton of sports do that, or
Yeah.
do we want to make something that is constant competition? And it's a hard one because you look at other sports and you say, yeah, okay, runners, ski racers, whatever. It's good to have 4 years to train to your peak
Yeah.
performance. There is a standard that you're, going against. So just be your best, and that will help you beat
Mhm.
everybody. But in climbing,
Yeah.
4 years, like 4 years of route setting evolution, four
Oh
years,
man, that's
like
like
to me, I feel like you can't. Well, I guess you could like compete in shitty things or just get like trained with
yeah.
good route setters and stuff. But I feel like unlike those other sports, there is a lot of value
Mhm.
to competing a lot. And the last point is I understand that getting to competitions takes money. Like Sean
Yeah.
McCall can't fly out to Ontario for every stupid little comp. I get that. So maybe we just have to make more incentive for them to come
Mhm.
out. But I want it to be a thing where I can see Sean climb, once a month at least, and
Yeah.
see like the best climbers frequently, not just in World Cups. I want to see North American climbers a lot. I'm
Mhm.
psyched for North American climbers. Like, let me just watch you do your thing, man. So yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, I think hopefully everyone shows up for it. I know there was a lot of people
yeah,
out for the tour last year, the tour finale.
yeah, it
For
wasn't bad.
yeah,
Like, I mean, it was
more
a
than I thought from out west. Like
yeah,
yeah,
that was cool. I think it will be better than that because it has like more standing and it's required to get to well, not required to get to, but like it helps
yeah,
get you on the national team. I honestly think at this point that I'm most psyched about the youngest athletes just because every single year now, like before, you might get one athlete in the
yeah,
country that's like, oh, this one particular kid this year looks
yeah,
like they could be like a national level open competitor.
yeah,
Now it's like 3 or 4 per year.
yeah. It's like a
And you're
wave
like,
of
damn, man, like every single year you add to that list of really top tier or close to top tier
yeah.
talent. And I just want them to come out. Like that's something that I hope gets more support. I
Mhm.
hope they know that we want to see them. Like I know your first year in Open's got to be a friggin' nightmare, and I've never seen anybody do super well in their first year of
Yeah.
Open. But like, I just want to see you. I want you to know that we love having you out for this stuff,
Mhm.
and just like get the experience now, because like 3 years from now, man, like
Yeah, it'll be.
it's gonna be wild.
So when you look at some of the stronger athletes, the strongest athletes, the most
Yeah,
experienced, like they're pretty old.
yeah.
Like
They and not. I don't want to. I know it always sounds like I'm like raging on older athletes, and part of it is I am.
mhm.
Um, I just feel like there is for most older athletes, like they're like Sean McCall,
Yeah,
obviously is clearly somebody who's a professional athlete. But you look at a lot of athletes who started climbing in the like we'll set like early mid '90s.
yeah,
Like the comp scene was really small, and it didn't take much from you to win a medal at a local
mhm.
competition, right? You didn't compete against much. It was easy to feel like you were good at
Yeah.
this. And it's very different from a kid that gets into the scene now. And at a
Oh
local,
man.
they got to fight 50 other kids.
Yeah.
You build a different level of understanding of what it means to work hard at the sport in that kind of environment. And I'm far more psyched about that kind of attitude building up. I want that
Mhm.
to really keep powering some athletes. So I'd be happy to see some people retire for sure. Um,
Which what
uh,
current youth athlete, boy and girl, do you think will be a national champion one day in Open?
Who?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like, let's start with the women's one, and picking one is really hard. So I will pick one, but I'll
Okay.
like kind of paint the scene. I think the most likely cohort right now
Mhm.
is the 99, 2000, 2001
Okay.
crew. So seeing like Nika Bronwyn, Sophie,
Yeah.
Chloe, Madison Fisher just
Yeah.
recently, Aggie St. Jacques, you look like, oh, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of those climbers personally, so
Yeah.
it's super hard for me to judge. I've seen Mika win a lot of stuff, and that's dope. I don't know her, so
Yeah.
all of those names I just said I think are absolutely have an incredible chance of becoming
Uh-huh.
national champions. Um, Having spent time with Bronwyn when she was a younger athlete,
Yeah.
and knowing the coach that she's with, and knowing the family support she has and their attitude towards athletics, I say, okay, here are people that are willing to take it seriously
Hmm.
and say, this is like, I have this goal, I'm going to work really hard.
Yeah.
And seeing the coaching guidance she has, I'm like, yeah, I'm really confident in that. I think
Hmm.
that's something that can perform. This was her fourth straight silver youth
Yeah, she's never
performance.
won.
She's never got the gold at a youth nationals, and it's her second last year. And I'm like, oh man. I mean, she's super consistent, and obviously in the top three, like it's always the same people.
And Maddie moves up next year, so you
Madison moves
never
up next year. I
know.
love that so much. Like that's such a good fight, man. But for
Man.
the boys, and again, this is tough because like we're from a particular part of the world, or a particular part
Yeah,
of the
for the country.
country. But again, just by going by the athletes I know and the attitudes they have, I have unbelievable confidence in Zach.
Yeah.
And the only thing that worries me about the men's category is because you have Lucas,
Yeah.
who is clearly on a trajectory where it looks like for the next few years he wants to stay at a high
Yeah.
level of competition. And so that means, for the women's, I feel like there is, I just don't know people like Alyssa
Yeah.
Weber,
Yeah.
Alana Yip, Allison Best well enough. I'm sure
Hmm.
they have other things that they
Yeah.
might also value, so they might not be in it for, like, I just
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want to make
Yeah.
it sound like they're casuals. I just don't know them or their goals. But I think the men's category is going to be a little bit tougher in my mind because of older athletes. I think the
Yeah.
girls' side has there's a young cohort that will
Hmm.
become dominant really soon. But for the guys, I think there's still more of a spread. I don't know if it's fair to say
Yeah.
that male athletes stay in the scene
I was just gonna
longer.
say that. I can't think of that many older females who are
Yeah,
still competing like at
it's
nationals.
it is
Like,
still like mid to
yeah,
lower 20s for the most part,
like who was
right?
the oldest last year? Like
I
Alana?
don't know.
Like,
Well, no, like there were older athletes that climbed,
but
but
in
they just
finals,
didn't
like
do
finalists,
as
like
well. Yeah, I'm trying to think who the list was. It was Alana, Allison, Alyssa, Eva, Bronwyn, and somebody else. Can't remember. So that's cool. But yeah, and I mean, well,
yeah,
just straight up for the men's, we have competitors in their 30s,
yeah.
two or three of them, because I don't know exactly how old JJ is.
Hmm.
I think he's the same age as
Around
Shaun.
the thing.
So there's three people in their 30s right away who you can say, yeah, they'll be top six.
Hmm.
Cool. So that's like a 5-year
Yeah.
gap-ish compared to the women in terms of like where the top athletes are. So yeah, man, I think it could be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, I mean, for now, until I get to know the athletes from different parts of the country, like I look at Brom and I look at Zach and I
Yeah.
say, I know you guys a lot, and therefore I'm going to be super biased. Yeah, it's just hard. Like you've had the opportunity to coach a lot of these
Yeah.
kids.
Speaking of coaching, I think Indiana has a shot
Totally.
one day.
Yeah, for sure. I
Just,
just haven't seen her beat a lot of the kids that I'm talking about yet.
For sure.
So she
She's a
needs to
young little.
step it up a little bit. I'm not saying it's not there. She's
She's-
super young. She's not even
Yes,
open yet.
no,
Like
next
you can't
year.
complain, man. Yeah, next year.
So, but Babette, like she's doing amazing in Open. It's her first
Yeah,
year.
but then I got really. We're going super long on stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares? Babette was really cool because you just saw those couple of comps all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I think of like the French scene, I don't think of like, okay, this is where a lot of our top athletes come from.
Mhm.
And I think that's fair for now. If you look at, I think it was Emily Pellerin. Speaking of French, I think
Okay.
she was the sixth. Emily or Tanya Miro, they both had really good years
Okay.
last year. So anyway, I wasn't sure how much competition there was in those comps, aside from seeing a few Ontario people
Yeah.
go who got knocked down by this 15-year-old
Yeah.
right now. But that's why I think I want to see her at Open Nationals, is I want to like place her against those
Gauge,
other
yeah.
climbers. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And same thing with Aggie too. Like she looks like somebody who she's got like a good balance of family support where they're
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, for
go
sure.
ahead, take this seriously, do your thing. Like we're behind you. And well, I don't know Babette's family that well either, but they seem to, they've been in the scene for a long time,
Mhm.
so I'm sure they're down with it. But
Some of these, I feel like
Yeah.
more so with the youth athletes, some of them just their emotions just get the best of them sometimes.
maybe I
It's
don't know them
just
that
like-
well.
I don't see like older women or men like freaking out and getting
Yeah.
really upset, if they're not
Yeah, I agree with you. it's and I wonder how long that takes. I'm sure it's different for everybody, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how the scores evolve, and I don't know. I think
Yeah.
this year I'm expecting a little bit more from the younger kids the last couple of
Hmm.
years, the 2000s and the 2001s. I'd like to see some damage
Yeah.
happen, man. Yeah, I'd be psyched up for that. So
Yeah.
we'll see what goes. Yeah, do you have any predictions? Because I'm not going to talk to you until after,
Yeah.
so I might as
For
well get you now.
winners
Let's
or
say pick 3 men and 3 women that are going to get to finals.
the finals, Shaun,
Okay,
Jay,
risky bets.
and man, I really want Lucas to get to finals,
Yeah.
but I don't know. He's never done
Are you
super
worried that he wouldn't?
well. He's never made open
I
final
know, but
before.
like this year, are you worried that he wouldn't?
Depends who shows up.
Yeah.
Like,
Who are the options? What are the two Lucases?
what do you mean?
Like what? Like there's. So you said
Oh,
depends who
who?
shows up.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying what competitors show up or which type
Depends.
of Lucas shows
It
up?
depends what competitors show
Oh,
up.
okay,
I
all
think.
right. I thought
Like
Lucas was like had multiple personalities of competitor in him.
Like I feel like I was talking to Nathan and Lucas about this at Youth Boulder Nationals because obviously they used to train together. They're on the same team.
Yeah.
And I asked him like, who's beat who more?
Yeah.
And I think Nathan was like, Open or Youth?
Yeah. Totally.
And then he's like, I don't know about Youth. And he's like, Lucas, who beat who more in Youth comp? And Lucas is like, me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you just know this? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Then Open, Nathan has beat Lucas more in Open, and maybe it's just the style, maybe it's the height,
right.
maybe it's my third for fine. I know, and Nathan hasn't been training a lot lately because he's been setting comps.
He's been off them. He's not. I don't see him as much of a competitor this year because I think he's just trying to like get into the setting world, which is awesome, and he can come back. But yeah, I don't. He's not in my head right now.
Another safe bet. I'm gonna go Jesse Taplin.
Cool. He's had a great year, man.
Last year,
he showed up nonstop and wins a lot of shit. So yeah, that's cool.
We're gonna go those three. For the girls, Alana Yip.
Yep.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If Eva Thompson shows up, she's very strong.
Okay.
And Alyssa Weber is very cool. Like I think those three those three girls and boys, I think they'll make finals for sure.
Cool.
But like someone like Bronwyn, as strong as she is and good of a climber, like there's a chance that she might not. She gets a style it up the block that doesn't really suit her. Because it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But the crew is Dustin and Adam from Up the Block.
I got no idea.
And then it's Caleb from Alley Up.
Caleb's chiefing, right?
Caleb's chief. Yeah. Dustin is assistant. And it's Adam Oscar from Canyon.
Nice.
And then I'm on the crew. So it'll be very up the blocky, alley uppy, Quebec styley, and then Ontario kind of style.
Yeah, little Jean-Marc sprinkled over here, a Luigi sprinkled over here. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be good.
Maybe a little bit of Joe Rockhead sprinkled in here. Yeah.
Then there'd be no features.
Yeah, give me something like just like a resin hold with so much rope wear in it. It's basically got like ridges. Yeah, give me some of that. But in terms of the live stream's gonna be for semis and finals. So Sunday, March 4th, we're gonna do that. I don't know the times, but it's gonna be myself and P Woods.
Ooh.
I've never actually commentated with him before.
Everyone loves P Woods.
Everybody loves P Woods. Yeah, man. So I'm excited because he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
The only like my I was gonna use the word big break. That's stupid. But when I emceed for the World Cup, it was only because he was at like somebody's wedding in Europe.
Oh wow!
So if he hadn't been such a good friend to somebody,
I
wouldn't have had that awesome opportunity. So I'm grateful for him. I don't know who, but I'm glad I had that chance. But mostly I'm just like psyched to.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a pretty small circle of people that wants to commentate for climbing.
Yeah.
And he's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool.
He's emceeing or commentating with
him and I are commentating.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He emcees for qualifiers. I hope not. That'd be so much talking. Like I know he can do it, but just save it. It's not worth it, man. Just save it for when you're with me. It's gonna be good. So yeah.
Maybe it'll be like really warm too. For ISOs last year it was freezing cold.
Oh,
isolation.
It's going to be good. ISO is going to be inside, as far as I know. There's going to be no outdoor component of isolation. So if you're an athlete, that's like good for you. I also think, based on the weather so far, it should be temperatures in the plus at least. So that's a good step. I think it's going to be good.
How do you think it's going to be? Open Boulder Nationals.
I don't know. No. Like from what perspective?
The setting.
Whew, I expect it to be good. I don't
Yeah.
know. The only other comp I've really paid attention to at that gym
Yeah.
was Tour de Bloc Championships,
Yeah.
which was effectively the same crew, it
Hmm.
was the same chief and same assistant. I trust Caleb and Dustin's
Hmm.
judgment. Um, and I think that's all I can do. Like aside
Hmm.
from that, setting's a crapshoot. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of day the athletes are going to have. I expect it to be great. I want it to be good because I want to watch really good
Yeah.
climbing. Um, there's nothing in me that gives me doubts. Let's
Hmm.
say that it's going to be as much of a random draw
Yeah.
as a climbing comp ever is. But excellent conditions are there. Like the walls are great, the holds should be great, the setters are awesome.
They're getting so much new volumes and
Sweet,
holds,
good,
so expect a lot of bleeding.
good. I'm so excited. It'll be nice. It'll give Pete and I just time to like talk.
Just to talk and talk while
Just
we're
talk
like
about
cleaning
nothing
blood
at
off
all.
of every hole.
Just close-ups of you guys scrubbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can be the first ones to just be like, we don't care.
Brush. Dude,
Yeah.
at Worlds,
Just
me and
blow on
Adrian,
it.
we saw Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie was right there. We're like, Jackie, there's
Jackie got off, right?
Yeah,
Just to
Jackie
be
got off.
clear, yeah.
We're like, Jackie, there's blood on the volume. No, it's not. We're like, yeah, there's blood. It's like, oh no. And then I think it was like Christoph or one of the other technical delegates or
yeah.
whatever. We're like, yo, there's blood on the volume. He's like, oh, okay, we'll brush it off. And they just brushed off the blood. And I was like, oh, if Jackie says there's no blood, I guess.
I think that's where we gotta
There's no
go.
blood and brush it off.
There's who can argue with you if you're like, this is what Jackie did?
Yeah.
Like what technical delegate's gonna get in your face?
Me and Adrian were like,
the chief root setter of the world does it like this. So shut up about it.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know if that would fly in Canada.
I don't know.
We're too strict.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
this was good.
This was really good.
Probably ran longer, but whatever.
For sure, this is like 3 hours. This is longer than like finals at Youth Boulder Nationals.
Damn. That's hot fire, man. Anyway, thanks for doing it.
Yup.
Maybe we'll do this again. But anyway, if you watched this far, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Where could they find you?
Me?
On other like social media.
Oh well,
they wanna-
I'm just at Nyler Torton, I guess. No, yeah, I'm at Plastic Weekly. This is probably going to be on the Plastic Weekly channel for now, because I don't know where else to put it. Yeah, I don't know. Where can they find you, Shaun Hunter?
Shaun Hunter
At
climbing.
Shaun Hunter motivational quotes.
I only had a couple motivational quotes.
I'm glad it's over.
But I posted a bunch of videos nationals and everyone like loved it.
Sweet
Because
man.
it was like better than live.
Damn,
Yes.
dude. You know how to shoot climbing. I don't know who's doing the cameras,
that's-
but a
yeah,
lot of them
man.
just don't know. We're not
That's
starting
it.
another topic.
Okay, let's
We're not starting another topic. If we do this again, we'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks a lot.